Welcome to our channel. I'm Twist.
And I am Take, and this is OTOT News.
On June 1, 2020, Des Moines Police Department was called to 1516 Evergreen Avenue at 5:41 p.m. on a report of a possible suicide. When officers arrived, they found Zachary Brooks, 37, deceased inside an apartment. After investigations, Piper Lewis, who was 15 at the time, was charged with killing Zachary Brooks.
In the plea agreement, Lewis, now 18, outlined for the court the series of events that she said led up to the killing, beginning with her running away from home multiple times due to an abusive guardian. She had been bouncing from living situation to living situation, trying to find some kind of stability. She would sleep in the hallways of apartment buildings when she met one unknown man who turned out to be violent and abusive. She decided to leave. She was later taken in by a man named Christopher Brown, 28, who she said set her up on dating sites and trafficked her, forcing her to have intercourse with at least 7 men in exchange for money. Brooks was one of those men, according to Lewis, who described in her agreement being repeatedly assaulted, including while she was unconscious. On May 31, 2020, Brown is said to have confronted Lewis with a knife and forced her to go to Brooks's apartment, where Lewis said she was forced to drink, smoke, and eventually fell asleep. At one point, she woke up to find Brooks raping her, she said. Later, Brooks fell asleep and Lewis, overcome with rage at the realization he had raped her again, immediately grabbed the knife from his nightstand and began stabbing him, she said in the plea agreement. Court documents say Brooks was stabbed in the chest, arms, and groin.
I made poor decisions that day.
What were they?
Getting in the car, walking into the house. As much as I wish I hadn't, being in that lifestyle, you're not always thinking, I don't know, it's about survival.
Lewis has spent the last 2 years locked up in a juvenile detention center, where she earned her GED while she was unable to communicate with her friends and family. "My spirit has been burned, but still glows through the flames," she read from a prepared statement before her sentencing. "Hear me roar, see me glow, and watch me grow. I am a survivor," she added. Prosecutors disagreed with Lewis referring to herself as a victim during the case. They said she failed to take responsibility for the killing and leaving Brooks's 3 children without a father.
The judge questioned Lewis over the choices she had made that led to Brooks' stabbing. "I took a person's life," she responded, according to the Times. "My intentions that day were not just to go out and take somebody's life. In my mind, I felt that I wasn't safe and I felt that I was in danger, which resulted in the acts. But it doesn't take away from the fact that a crime was committed." She said she regretted what happened that day, but to say there is one victim is absurd.
Lewis was originally charged with first-degree murder for the fatal stabbing. Last year, she pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and willful injury. She faced up to 20 years in prison for her guilty pleas. But on September 13, 2022, Polk County District Judge David Porter handed down a deferred judgment and ordered her to spend 5 years on probation at the Fresh Start Women's Center in Des Moines with a GPS tracking device. Porter said that the time that he was giving her a second chance and she would not get a third.
This sentencing meant the plea could be expunged if she completed the probationary sentence at a residential correctional facility. The court additionally had to impose a $150,000 restitution fee under Iowa law, the judge said. He also ruled she should serve 200 hours of community service and pay more than $4,000 in civil penalties, or a total of 1,200 hours of community service. Lewis' case prompted an outpouring of generosity by strangers who wanted to help cover the restitution. A GoFundMe page set up by her former coach Leland Shepard raised more than $560,000. Money collected beyond the court-ordered $150,000 fee would help Lewis attend college, start her own business and explore ways to help other young victims of sex crimes, Leland Shepard wrote on the crowdsource campaign's page, which has since stopped accepting donations.
At 6:19 a.m. on Friday, November 4th at the Fresh Start Women's Center, someone opened a door, which set off an alarm and alerted a residential officer on duty, according to a probation violation report. An officer stated they then saw Lewis exiting the building, the report said. Lewis cut off her GPS monitor in her room before leaving the facility, according to the report. There has been a warrant issued for Lewis' arrest. The probation report asked for her deferred judgment to be revoked and her original sentence imposed. Lewis could face up to 20 years in prison.
As of today, we have seen some reports circulating that Piper is back in custody as of yesterday afternoon. So many women of color are caught up in human trafficking, go missing, are murdered and end up as another unnamed statistic. But should a victim who ended their abuse through a crime be treated the same as any other criminal? What are your thoughts about this case? Comment below and please subscribe. Stay safe in this harsh world.